You are given a zero-indexed array of strings, words, and a 2D array of integers, queries. Each query asks us to find the number of strings present in the range Li to Ri, both inclusive of the words that start and end with a vowel. Return an array answers of size query.length, where the answers I is the answer to the ith query. So all this means is that we're given a list of words and we're given queries. And we want to know between the range of a query, so in this case 0 to 2, we want to find all the words between that range, so from here to here, that start and end with a vowel. So in this case, A and A, that's going to be a qualifying word, and E, this is going to be a qualifying word. So we take these and we put it down here as 2. And we go through all of these queries asking, do any of these words begin and end with a vowel? So we could actually just work with what we're given, but I actually want to transform this into something else just to give us more options in the future in case we need them. So instead of using strings like how we're using, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look through these words and just create a new array where if the condition that it both ends and starts with a vowel, I'm just going to put down a 1. If it doesn't, I'm just going to put down a 0. And that's going to look something like this. We're going to start off with a temp array. Let's get our vowels into a set. Let's iterate over all the words. And if the first letter is in vowels, and if the last letter is in vowels, we're going to put a 1. Otherwise, we're going to put a 0. Let's just print this out just to see what it looks like. And it'll look like this. So again, this is just when we have a vowel at the start and the end, we have to put down a 1. B and B, that's not 0. E and E, that's right, that's right, that's right. So we get these at the end. So we might look at this and we can say, okay, how about we just take the sum between all values between our queried range. So in this case, we just take from 0 to 2, so from here to here, and we say their answer is 2, which is what we get. From 1 to 4, 3, that's right, 1 to 1, 0. This would work. However, if we look at our constraints, the number of queries that we have is 10 to the 5, and the number of queries that we can have is also 10 to the 5. If our queries asked us to iterate over this entire length every time, we would have an n squared solution, and based on these constraints, we would get a time limit exceeded. So we need to find something that would be faster than an n squared solution. We can't just iterate over all of these every time. Well, let's actually go ahead and implement that, because sometimes we'll find that the incorrect solution can lead us to our correct one or an improved one. So let's start off with an answer array, and we want to iterate over all of our queries. We're going to get the start and the end of what we want to iterate over. We're going to iterate over it, and we're just going to create a count. Every time we see a 1 or a 0, we're just going to add it to the count. And every time we count everything in our range, we're just going to add it to our answer. Let's return our answer. Let's hit run. And we can see that this actually works. But when we try to submit this, we get the time limit exceeded that we expected. So let's figure out a way to improve on what we already have. Let's start off with this array, and let's see if we can try to figure out something. Our goal is to find a range sum within n time. So we need to get O of n. So let's try something kind of clever. Let's create a new array, and we're going to keep our total sum in this new array. So when we get here, we have 0, because our total sum is 0. Let's add this 1 here, 1, 2, 2, and then 3. And we're trying to figure out if there's anything we can do with this. Well, we can. Suppose our query was 2, 3. So let's just mark this down real quick. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. And we want to find the range between here and here. We would just take the difference between here and here, and then add whatever exists here. So we say 2 minus 2. 2 minus 2 plus whatever's here plus 1 equals a sum of 1. And in this range, we can see that there is only just a sum of 1. Let's try a different query. Let's try between 2 and 4. So between 2 and 4, we can say this minus this. So 3 minus 2 plus whatever's here plus 1. This is just going to give us 2. And we can see that this is actually the correct answer as well. So this was our temp array before, temp. And let's just call this like some sum array. Sum array. Our formula is sum array, whatever's on our right, if this is our right, minus sum array left, if this one's our left, plus temp of our right, then we should be able to get our answer. And this would just be a lookup of 1, and creating this array would also just take n time. So this would give us our O of n solution. So let's start implementing that. Let's just get rid of our n squared solution first, and let's create that sum array. So let's say sum array, let's create a count. We're going to iterate over all values in the temp array. We're going to keep that running sum on count, and then we're going to append our count to sum every time. All right, so now that we've set up our sum array, let's set up our answer array. For each query, we're just going to get the start and the end. We're going to use our formula before, and then we're just going to append this to our answer. Let's see if this runs. Let's see if this submits. And it looks like we are good. Let's actually just remove this print statement. Submit it again. And it looks like it did a lot better. Like, subscribe, a link to the code will be in the description. Join our Discord for some extra help, problem suggestions, and announcements. And I'll see you in the next one.